Coming up on Christmas Across America, a small town big deal celebration.
The Dream Tree, created out of $1 million worth of donated toys. Zoos have a hard time keeping presents under wraps. And singer-songwriter Ryan Stevenson gives us all a personal concert with his newest Christmas song.
The heart and soul of Christmas.
The impact a simple wreath can have when laid on a veteran's grave. And Pastor Johnny Hunt helps us slow down and remember the true meaning of Christmas.
There is more to life.
Welcome to Small Town Big Deals, Christmas Across America. I'm Rodney Miller.
And I'm Jan Carl. You know, Christmas is so much fun. Hanging the stockings, decorating the house, trimming the tree.
Nothing beats Christmas. So for the next hour, we're going to make your spirits bright.
And we are so excited to be filming this year's special at the largest Christmas store in the world. It's Bronner's Christmas Wonderland.
The store has grown to the size of almost 2 football fields. A festive and fun place to celebrate Christmas across America, a small town big deal celebration.
Get ready to experience the fun of wintertime as we share stories of Christmas time.
Every week, we love sharing uplifting stories about remarkable people, wonderful places, and amazing events. But today, it's all about Christmas on Small Town Big Deals, Christmas Across America.
You know, I think we've all heard the expression dream girl.
Dream team or dream house.
But have you ever heard of a dream tree?
Well, we found one, $1 million one in West Virginia.
It's safe to say it epitomizes the act of giving at Christmas, and it's making dreams come true.
The Greenbrier is known as America's resort, and its origins date back more than 200 years. In that time, it's grown to 11,000 acres that practically surround the tiny town of White Sulphur Springs, which is about 120 miles southeast of the state capital of Charleston.
Welcome to the Greenbrier. When you visit the Greenbrier, you'll find yourself being greeted like family.
And for generations, that greeting has come from Frank Mosley, one of the resort's most beloved employees.
To see people happy. That's my main goal, make sure everybody's happy. See, I met big shot, little shot, wannabes, used to be, but none no more important than you all.
Christmas is his favorite time of the year at the Greenbrier, and it all begins with a traditional tree lighting.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Their tree lighting should actually be called a forest lighting. All over the property, dozens and dozens of brilliant trees burst into color.
When it comes to decorating, the Greenbrier elves go all out.
It's got Harlequin packages. A red, white, and blue Christmas tree.
That is an American tree.
I wonder how many trees there are in total here.
Well, as a matter of fact, there are 44, and they're all decorated by the same woman, and she starts at Halloween to get them all done.
I guess she's too busy to come to my house.
I think so. Can you believe everything here is made out of chocolate? I mean, even the chimney and the sleigh and the nutcracker.
Merry Christmas to me.
There's so much here for guests to see and do. And of course, a visit with Santa.
Ho, ho, ho!
Merry Christmas.
You know, we've all seen how the Greenbrier really knows how to celebrate Christmas.
And do they? But about 10 years ago, they started a new tradition. And it really does focus on one of the most important things of the season, and that is the spirit of giving. That's where the dream tree came along.
Yeah, and this dream tree, it constitutes only about 6,000 of the over 40,000 presents they give to those in need.
You know, there's so many people that have been hurting for a long time. There's still lots and lots out there that it was just the right thing to do.
Jim Justice is the owner of the Greenbrier and the governor of West Virginia. Around here, he's more popular than Santa himself.
He purchased the resort back in 2009 and brought it out of bankruptcy, saving thousands of local jobs. Then Governor Justice and his family began the Dream Tree tradition by personally donating nearly $1 million each year to buy presents for thousands of children in need.
Tell us a little bit about the charities that benefit from this.
Well, they really come from all over. They come from Ohio, West Virginia, Virginia, and Kentucky, and all the charities sort of have different missions, but they all have needs for children at this time of year, and we're thrilled to be able to help them do that.
Along with the Justice family, the guests at the Greenbrier also have a chance to give. By making a monetary donation or picking the perfect present in the toy shop. I can't get too many more.
I know, that's why he likes this one, because there can be 6 barns in this. How many barns?
Rodney's nesting barn set is a great choice. Dream Tree always tries to choose toys that are both fun and educational.
This spirit of giving is so big, it takes a warehouse to handle all of it.
And here, where packages are just like jam-packed in between all the golf carts.
It really is sort of a year-round project. Those toys will start coming in October, and the 1st of November we begin wrapping them. It's quite a process.
Yep, you heard right. Most of the more than 42,000 gifts are delivered wrapped to add to that Christmas morning fun.
Voila.
To get the job done, it takes hundreds of volunteers from the Greenbrier staff and from the organizations who benefit.
So for every 100 gifts they get, they have to have an hour of volunteer time to get all these gifts wrapped or all the unwrapped gifts stacked and labeled where they're supposed to go.
This one, they have 20 infant boy packages, preteen, teen, a total of 200 gifts.
Wow. And this is going to a volunteer fire department who will then distribute them.
A lot of the families don't have money. This is, one way to give the children Christmas gifts.
We have a lot of underprivileged kids and families, and we make a very special Christmas for them.
I think I have an idea what Santa really feels like. There's a lot of packages.
There's a lot of families in our community where parents aren't able to provide Christmas for their children, so just having a little bit helps them a lot.
I was loading a couple of trucks over there.
Yeah. There are no trucks over there.
And so we're able to bring it back and surprise the kids in the community. They're very thankful. Often they'll write thank you notes. They love it.
Although they rarely get to see any of the thousands of smiling children's faces, Dream Tree volunteers know how important their work really is. For them, the best tree is an empty tree, when all the presents are on their way to the children.
Kind of brings us back to the real meaning of Christmas and the spirit of giving.
Well, a lot of people lose the true meaning in so many ways. But the birth of Jesus Christ, it is beyond unbelievable. Just what a miracle and a blessing to all of us.
Up next, a hit singer-songwriter takes us to the heart of Christmas with new music for the holidays.
Of Christmas.
We'll be right back.
The moment that I see.
Welcome back to Christmas Across America, and we're so enjoying our time at Bronner's Christmas Wonderland.
They have everything. More than 50,000 different kinds of trims and gifts, including musical instrument ornaments. I mean, I found a French horn, a clarinet, a harp.
Wait, I know how much you love Christmas music. I mean, she starts playing it in October.
And what is wrong with that?
Well, nothing. But maybe you need some help on some new music. And we know just the singer-songwriter who can help us with that.
From hits like Eye of the Storm,
In the eye of the storm.
to fun Christmas songs like This Christmas Eve,
It's Christmas Eve.
Ryan Stevenson brings so much heart and soul to his songs.
We sat down with Ryan to get a glimpse of his life and find out how he got where he is today.
So Ryan, before you were a singer-songwriter, you were a paramedic.
Yes, sir. Worked 24-hour shifts managing a frontline 911 ambulance and responding to hundreds and hundreds of 911 emergencies over the years, and just really getting, if you will, a front row seat to people's tragedy, people's chaos, people's storms of their lives.
While an EMT, Ryan had one specific life or death situation that was not only life-changing for his patient, but also for him.
I responded to a call where a lady had got struck by lightning. She was dead on our arrival. I ended up reviving her minutes later in the back of the ambulance on the way to the hospital, and she made it. Maybe about a year later, her and I ended up connecting. She asked me one day, if you weren't doing this paramedic thing, what's your dream? What do you want to do? I said, well, I'd love to help people with my songs and my music. She's like, how do you do that? And I said, I need to record my songs, because I'd been writing songs since college, since 18 when I got my first guitars. So she wrote me a check and sent me off to a recording studio, and I recorded 5 songs and sent them to a record company. And I mean, it wasn't just like that, but that got me a record deal.
You would have never thought the woman that was laying dead in front of you was going to totally change your life.
Never in a million years. And I love sharing that story because it's just such a testimony of how God will use anything and anyone, however, whoever, wherever, however he wants to do it.
You were 43 when you got the news.
I know this is a Christmas special, but you've had a lot of big hits and in the contemporary Christian genre, and one of them is Eye of the Storm, the other one's When We Fall Apart. They're both so profound.
I have to write about life. Eye of the Storm was just that. It was easy, it was taking 9 years of being on an ambulance and people that are actually dealing with things in their lives, but injecting that key element of the anchor in the middle of that storm, the calm and the peace. He is the eye of the storm. That is Jesus.
When Ryan was just a young teen, his mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. With his father traveling for work and his sister in college, so much of the time was just the two of them, which made that mother and son bond even stronger.
When it got really near the end, I went into her room. She was in a hospice bed in our little trailer house that we'd lived in. Here she is, and on her deathbed in her motherly way, just like consoling me and telling me like, it's okay, I know. She's like, I'm exhausted, I'm ready to go be with the Lord, but don't think for 2 seconds that you need to leave here today putting on some fake, phony facade of strength. Don't leave like you need to think you have it all together, because sometimes, Ryan, our greatest strength is our surrender. The Bible says it's in our weakness that his strength is made perfect. And she said sometimes the only way you're gonna see anything clearly in your life is when you see it through your tears. They're a precious gift. And sometimes the only way you're gonna really heal from anything is when you just fall apart. It's crazy to see and hear her words still offering so much hope and healing to people. I mean, I get unbelievable amounts of email and feedback about that song.
What a gift you are to her, because through you, she is still giving.
Now I'm your legacy, and it's your love still holding me together.
What does Christmas mean to you?
For me, it's about the most important event in the history of the world. It's the birth of Jesus, and just our family, obviously our family being together.
I understand that you have a new song, a new Christmas song.
I do. Just came out with a new one called Heart and Soul of Christmas.
Safe to say we've all been going through it. Seems like overnight the world has changed. Sometimes our joy can fade in all of the confusion. Seems like we have to fight to keep the faith. But somehow, the moment that I see the first snowflake falling, I know that you're reminding me that no matter what the season brings, Jesus, you will always be the one and only reason. You're the heart and soul of Christmas, and all that we could ever need is everywhere and everything. Jesus, you will always be. You will always be. You're the heart and soul. The heart and soul. You're the heart and soul of Christmas. And somehow the moment that I see my family around our tree, I know that you're reminding me that no matter what the season brings, Jesus, you will always be the Christmas.
Coming up next,
all aboard!
Special bells that ring clear enough for an angel to get his wings.
We can't think of a better way to ring in Christmas.
You know, it just takes this sound for us to instantly think Christmas.
Well, same could be said for church bells or that famous line about bells from It's a Wonderful Life. Every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings.
Well, we tracked down the manufacturer of that famous bell, and it turns out they're still making them.
In the early 1800s, the quaint town of East Hampton, Connecticut, was given the nickname Belltown because there were so many bell manufacturers nestled in the area. But today, only one remains, Bevan Brothers Manufacturing.
Hi, Cece. After nearly 200 years, Cece Bevan is the first woman to take the reins of the family-owned company. She's quick to say their dedicated employees keep them going and is giving us a crash course on the making of a Bevan bell.
I know it's kind of hard to believe that things that look like this start out this way, but this is just a flat roll of steel, and we load them on our presses, and we use dies like this, which are also loaded onto presses. So we have hundreds of dies that make all different sizes and styles of bells.
And the first press we head to is where the familiar sound of the season is being created.
I wanted to show you guys, this is what it looks like. I love this bell because it just comes off the press completely finished.
That deer tells me that he can make about 2,000 of these an hour, plenty for Santa's sleigh.
So when the bell comes out of the press, it's just got a little slot on it like this. And on the inside now, we've got a little hole to attach the clapper.
Yeah,
it's not finished yet. Well, if you don't hear the bell ring, you don't believe anymore, right?
Nobody gets any wings.
Nope.
Now on to my favorite, the cowbell.
Bonifacio is attaching the two halves together, and now he's welding them together solidly.
I've got like 20 cows and no cowbell. I've got to have more cowbell.
So it's pretty easy to see that the cowbell is a very popular item, especially when they will personalize it with your logo.
Another bell they make is the handbell, the one we all hear every year over the hustle and bustle of the holidays, reminding us to help the most vulnerable.
We do all of the bells for the Salvation Army across the United States. So when you're hearing a bell ring at one of their kettles at Christmas, it's a Bevan bell. We do thousands and thousands of bells for mountain bikers to ward off bears when they're out in the woods.
Bells ward off bears?
They do. Of course, a guy from Alaska once said to me, up there we call them dinner bells because the bears know you're coming now.
Thank you for calling Bevan Bells. How can I help you?
Cece, what's it like to be part of a family that has owned this same business since 1832?
It's amazing. This town had at one point probably 20 or 30 different bell manufacturers.
That's wild.
It's not always been father to son, and the current owner, Matt, my cousin, took this over from his uncle. Of course, bells were in absolutely everything at the end of the 1800s and the early 1900s. You know, we were the bell that opened and closed the New York Stock Exchange for 7 decades. Now it's electronic, and so many things have gone electronic.
I didn't even think of that.
We happen to be the ones left standing, which is great for us and, you know, makes us really proud.
One of the things the entire family takes great pride in is their creation of that famous bell from the movie It's a Wonderful Life.
Well, this is the clapper. That's actually what hits inside the bell.
Yeah.
And it'll pop right through the hole. And this is the finial. That's the top.
The finial?
Yep. Just kind of keep twisting. And that's that.
Next, Lourdes shows me how they perfect their Christmas magic.
But you need to look at this wonderful life.
Oh, because that has to be in the front. Okay, see, I've already messed up. All right, so like that. Mm-hmm. Oh, and the very special velvet bag.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Thank you for joining us.
It's great to meet you virtually.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad to be here. I love Bevan Bells.
And then, Cece introduced us to Carolyn Grimes, who played Jimmy Stewart's daughter, Zuzu Bailey, in the classic Christmas movie, It's a Wonderful Life.
We love It's a Wonderful Life.
Yes.
We love and adore you. Any memories that you have of making the movie that you want to share?
Jimmy Stewart was extremely tall. He was 6'4", and I was a lot of the times in his arms or on his shoulder somewhere, way up there. And I'll never forget, I felt like if I fell, I'd go squash.
I bet.
He was just such a gentle soul, and he was so kind, and he gave me a lot of self-confidence, actually.
One thing that kind of amazes me is you didn't have a lot of lines, but probably you have the most memorable line in the entire movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's
That makes my heart
Yeah.
melt. What's your theory on why it has become such a beloved classic?
Because this movie appeals to everyone. I think it gives them hope. So each one of us does make a difference.
When did you first know about Bevan bells?
I think it's been about 12 years ago. Someone brought me a bell to sign at a show. I said, where did you get this? It's beautiful. And they said, from Bevan Bells. That's it. I have a website and I sell It's a Wonderful Life products, and I just love them. I would love to wish you a very, very Merry Christmas, and keep It's a Wonderful Life in your heart and get a renewed sense of hope.
To wrap up our factory visit, Cece and her team surprised us with beautiful small-town big deal bells.
We can't think of a better way to ring in Christmas.
Coming up next,
when I come out to lay the wreath, it's still an honor.
The impact a simple wreath can have when laid on a veteran's grave.
I love the patriotic ornaments.
All done.
Yep.
You may recall a year ago our story about Wreaths Across America, a nationwide effort at Christmas time to honor our veterans who are no longer with us.
We received an overwhelming amount of emails from our viewers who wanted to volunteer. We also heard from one of our partners who wanted to help, Bad Boy Mowers.
They proudly joined this meaningful tradition.
And we were there to be a part of their inaugural trip in the Honor Fleet.
That wreath is a catalyst to tremendous healing.
they are Christmas greetings unlike any other.
Louise Alphonse Dubry.
There's no better blessing than this person that I'm laying the wreath on. They gave their life for, so I could have the kind of life that I've had.
Since 1992, one Saturday every December, something amazing happens all across the country. Volunteers lay wreaths at the graves of veterans and call out their names.
Sergeant Major Ralph Donald Link.
Everybody that's involved in this never leave, and that's why that it continues to grow so rapidly. It means a lot, I think, to a lot of people.
This is Wreaths Across America, a non-profit organization that grew from the heart of a humble wreath maker, Morrill Wooster.
It began with 5,000 unsold wreaths, Morrill's deep appreciation for our veterans, and just a few volunteers. Then, in 2005, this happened.
A gentleman from the Air Force came by and snapped a photo of all of the wreaths laying on the headstones in the snow, and he posted it somewhere on the internet. And in 2005, that picture went viral on the internet.
But then I started getting mail from people. They were sending me checks, and they were thanking me for what we did and all this stuff. So we thought that it would be good to make it into a nonprofit, so that if somebody wanted to donate to Wreaths Across America, they could.
Millions of wreaths are delivered to 2,100 cemeteries across the U.S. More than 500 truckers and trucking companies donate their time and rigs to make it happen.
They load up at Wreaths Across America's headquarters in Harrington, Maine, about a 3-hour drive from Portland. Fittingly, the caravan of trucks is called the Honor Fleet.
In many ways, the fleet is the heart of Wreaths Across America. Just as the heart delivers blood all over the body, the Honor Fleet delivers wreaths all across America.
Now, our partners at Bad Boy Mowers is joining the Honor Fleet to help deliver wreaths to their final resting place.
As you can imagine, it's a Herculean task. It's too big a tale for Rodney and me to tell by ourselves. So to help out, we welcome a third host.
I
I'm Mallory Lindsay with Bad Boy Mowers.
You know, when Bad Boy first told us they wanted to be a part of the Honor Fleet, we wanted to come along with a maiden voyage.
So I'm here co-hosting with Rodney right here in North Carolina.
And Jan's going to join us for a very special wreath laying in Missouri.
This part of the story starts back in that small town of Harrington, Maine.
Brad Webb has driven from Bad Boy headquarters in Arkansas to join the Honor Fleet.
When I heard that Bad Boy Mowers was donating a truck for wreaths across America, I felt honored when they asked me to be the driver.
A traditional wreath is placed on the front grille.
Brad is ready to hit the road.
You got room for one more?
Yes, sir, that can ride up front with me, no problem.
That wreath will be a reminder of what drives wreaths across America to fulfill its annual mission.
This isn't just a normal load that you're carrying. This is a load of respect, and there are families and veterans on the other end waiting for these wreaths to be delivered to carry out a mission that's so important to so many.
Brad's assigned route takes him to North Carolina. He's dropping off 4,600 wreaths at 2 locations. Rodney and I will meet him at Pine Lawn Memorial Park.
Volunteers from the community are eager to unload.
All right, let's go.
These wreaths are for local ceremonies in just a few days.
Everyone that we know is mostly served in the service, so it's just a personal thank you to them because we cannot thank these individuals enough.
The next day, we're 50 miles east at Sand Hill State Cemetery and Fort Bragg.
Some of these wreaths will be at a ceremony for Gold Star families.
Those are families who had a member of the military who died in the line of duty. Paula Garcia's son was killed in action in 1997 when he was just 21 years old.
This was my one and only child. Even though I get angry when I come out to lay the wreath, it's still an honor. This program with the Wreaths Across America, I would ask everyone to please, donate to that, to where every hero can have a wreath and be remembered.
After the ceremony, there's little time for rest.
Wreaths Across America Day is tomorrow. There's more unloading to do.
Cars arrive before sunrise, and the first volunteers are laying wreaths and reading names.
Willie James Boyd, thank you for your service.
This is what Wreaths Across America is all about.
Lieutenant Colonel James Andrew Wyatt, Merry Christmas.
You hear so many stories of them just wanting their legacy to live on, and to be able to do that for them just simply by saying their name is pretty remarkable. Myra Murphy, thank you for your service.
On this day, on this hallowed ground, pride fills the heart.
I want to keep the memory alive, my fallen brothers and sisters, and honor their memories.
And we love the fact that Wreaths Across America supports over 2,000 wreath-laying ceremonies across the country near Christmas time.
So while we are here in North Carolina, Jan is in Missouri at a smaller event.
Hi guys, Mallory. First, let me say thank you to Bad Boy Mowers for honoring veterans by joining the efforts of Wreaths Across America.
It is our honor to help. Everyone at the Bad Boy family is so full of gratitude and appreciation for our servicemen and women.
And while I wish I were there with you all, I've traveled to Columbia, Missouri for a personal wreath laying. My grandfather was a veteran of World War II. He served in the Pacific and was awarded the Bronze Star of Valor on Okinawa. Today, I get to place a wreath at his gravesite. William G. Barnett. Thank you for your service, Grandpa. A thank you to all the Wreaths Across America donors and volunteers. Farewell from the Midwest. You guys stay warm.
We are, and we're honored to be a part of this great event.
The day is coming to a close. Brad lays the wreath that rode beside him from Maine to North Carolina.
Thomas Theo Hornsby, I brought this wreath for you.
We all feel humbled to be a part of this important Christmas time tradition and grateful to every veteran for their service to our nation. We'll be right back. Still to come on Small Town Big Deal, we're swinging into Christmas gift giving of a different sort.
Find out why it's not just people anxiously awaiting the arrival of jolly old Saint Nick when we return.
Is that mine?
Well, yes, it is. Is that mine?
You.
A little hesitation there.
This time of year, most children are trying to put their best foot forward.
Yeah, they're trying to get on the nice list. Not sure you made it, but you know, they want plenty of presents under the tree for them.
While children aren't the only ones who like getting Christmas presents, you might be surprised at who else is going to get a special delivery this time of year.
They may have fur or scales, be cuddly or prickly, huge or small, but no matter how different, all of these animals love getting presents and treats as much as we do.
To witness this annual Christmas gift-giving menagerie, we visited the Rosamond Gifford Zoo in Syracuse, New York. Home to more than 700 animals, it was founded in 1914. The zoo is dedicated to providing engaging experiences, exceptional animal care, and conservation education.
Say Christmas cookies!
They're also known to be pros at getting everybody into the Christmas spirit. And if you're lucky enough to be there at the right time, you might be able to watch the animals open their Christmas gifts.
I'm looking forward to Christmas at the zoo, but I'm sure Jan is going crazy for it.
Look at her. Rodney knows me pretty well. I am so excited to be here and to watch the animals. I'm trying to keep it cool though, otherwise I think I might frighten the animals. Oh, look how beautiful. Oh.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Oh, Merry Christmas. Oh, look, see? Oh, he's like, Oh, she's gonna look in there.
So this is their basic morning diet. It's just delivered in a special way.
Check out Abe and Fatima. At first, a little hesitant to tear into their gifts, but it doesn't take long before they're enjoying the contents.
Oh. He found an orange.
Yep. He turned it upside down to get it to come out.
And they'll eventually start throwing the boxes around.
Oh, but then it becomes a toy almost.
Yes.
Okay.
There'll be paper everywhere by the end of the day.
Zoos work hard to find ways to keep their animals stimulated, curious, and active.
How did that start and what does that do for the animals?
So we have, as every accredited zoo in the country has, part of what we do every day is an enrichment program. So if we're talking about even the invertebrates, the anemones and the tanks can get special treats, and it makes them do some more natural behaviors that they would do in the wild when they're looking for food and making whatever is going to happen. So we try to do different things, of course the holidays, make something interesting for the public too. So they know that there's going to be animals throughout the zoo getting those special treats throughout the day. But we also, even on a regular day, we'll tell people what we're going to do with enrichment for the day, who's going to get it when, so that they can kind of come see and watch.
Zoo residents receive a wide variety of gifts, from treats to toys. Check out Old St. Nick himself, not only delivering the gifts, but also playing with the animals at the Cincinnati Zoo.
Our neighbors to the north are good gift givers as well. The staff knows just what will keep the animals engaged. Just ask the ferrets at the Toronto Zoo, or the raccoon.
The Aquarium of the Pacific in Long Beach, California thought they'd create a challenge for their octopus. But watch closely as it opens this snowman container to find a holiday treat.
The animals at the Honolulu Zoo are having a very Merry Christmas and enjoying the packages as much as what's inside. The elephants have fun and build trunk strength, playing with one of the most iconic symbols of the season.
The orangutans at Zoo Tampa go straight for their contents and most definitely enjoy savoring their sweet treats.
Back at Rosamond Gifford Zoo, one animal that's not timid about devouring their Christmas goodies, the snow leopard.
But they just might be just as excited about the cold weather and the snow as they are for their Christmas gifts.
No other animal, when it's snowing, they just go crazy.
They do?
Certainly their element.
They love it.
The colder, the better.
What kind of treats do they get?
So being carnivores, there's some kinds of meat, or we feed them rodents, sometimes rats and mice.
It's interesting to note that some animals are like big kids
when it comes to the wrapping and boxes.
And I mean, the box in itself, just like with kids or cats at home, love boxes. So they'll use every piece of it. And unfortunately, the keepers on the day after an event like this have a little extra time to clean up after them. But it all makes it worth it for the animals.
So as you're planning your holiday activities this year, you might want to consider taking a walk on the wild side and check out the zoo this Christmas season.
Wishing all of our animal friends a very Merry Christmas at zoos all around the country. Coming up, a modern wise man shares the message of Christmas.
I heard a pastor say this: at Christmas, we place our gifts under the tree, but God placed His gift on the tree. And it just stuck with me.
Christmas can be so meaningful when you share it with family and friends, and the giving and receiving of gifts can be special.
But for us, the greatest gift is to share what happened at Bethlehem so many years ago, an event driven by love for us all.
Every year, we invite someone special to share their thoughts on the true meaning of Christmas.
In the flurry of the Christmas season, its true meaning can often be overlooked.
But in years past, we've been able to witness communities that come together every year to recreate Bethlehem and celebrate that special night so long ago.
This year, we get to spend time with Johnny Hunt, a beloved pastor, author, and leader who has spent much of his time ministering to the Atlanta area.
Before we begin talking about Christmas, we first hear about his youth and how it shaped him.
Johnny, you grew up a Native American in a very poor community. Your parents were divorced. How was that like back then?
You know, I didn't understand when my mother said, "We will not get alimony from your dad. I'm going to take care of you." That meant my mom working 2 jobs, work in the factory in the daytime, come home, cook a wonderful meal, and then walk downtown to a diner. And as I got older, I genuinely resented my father because he had remarried and he had more children, and I didn't see him for 13 years. But when I came to know the real meaning of Christmas, that I had a Father in heaven that cared for me, that made this promise: He would never leave me and never forsake me. And that was overwhelming, I mean, because I had a different view of fatherhood.
Always there, regardless of where you are in life and what you're facing.
Johnny, what does Christmas mean to you?
I heard a pastor say this: at Christmas, we place our gifts under the tree, but God placed His gift on the tree. And it just stuck with me. I thought, I was managing a pool room. I was a high school dropout. I was a hoodlum. I'd been arrested 3 times before I was 18. And I'm not proud of that, but I never owned a Bible, never. No one in my immediate family was a believer, but I had no trouble believing it. I mean, there was something inside of me. And God has given us the ability to not only know right from wrong, but there is a push from heaven in us toward what's right. We're rebelling against our own conscience. He's been pursuing you the whole time. I think a lot of people this season, if they will get quiet, Christmas morning, Christmas Eve, children are in bed, and they'll begin to reflect, they'll see themselves going back down memory lane. That's a good thing about Christmas, because really a song can take you back, a scent can take you back, a view can take you back. And then if we begin to entertain, where am I in a relationship with God? Do I really know the God of my parents, the God of my grandparents, the God of my friends that have been speaking to me?
Would you read out of the Bible the story of Christmas to us?
I'd be glad to. The Bible is His written love letter to us.
I like that idea that you're not alone and that you were loved beyond measure.
In Matthew chapter 1, Matthew writes, "Now the birth of Jesus Christ was as follows. After His mother Mary was betrothed to Joseph, before they came together, she was found with child of the Holy Spirit. Then Joseph, her husband, being a just man and not wanting to make her a public example, was minded to put her away secretly. But while he thought on these things, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream, saying, Joseph, son of David, Do not be afraid to take Mary as your wife, for that which is conceived in her is of the Holy Spirit. And she shall bring forth a son, and you shall call his name Jesus, for he shall save his people from their sins. I would go so far as to say no one has not had a moment where they were laying in bed by themselves, looking up to the sky, that just had to say, there's got to be more than this to life. And that's the story of Christmas. That's what we would like to tell everyone. There is more to life. In Ephesians 2:14, he says, he himself is our peace. So really, many are watching tonight, they're lacking peace. Christ is their peace.
We want to thank you for sharing the real meaning of Christmas with us and our audience. Thank you for all you've done for so many others, and Merry Christmas to you.
Well, Merry Christmas to you. Thank you for the privilege to make much of the real meaning of Christmas.
We'll be right back.
Thank you for joining us on this year's Christmas Across America special.
On our weekly TV show, we are honored to share the great stories from all across America. But at this time of year, well, the Christmas special is our gift to you.
We love sharing things with you that might remind you of Christmases past, or maybe of loved ones who are no longer here but remain in our hearts.
We also like sharing all kinds of different traditions and sometimes just the pure fun that comes along with this joyful celebration.
From Jan and me and our entire crew here at Small Town Big Deal, we want to wish you a blessed and happy Christmas.
And all the very best in the coming new year.
Merry Christmas! So, what are you doing?
I'm writing my letter to Santa.
You still write letters to Santa?
Yeah, doesn't everybody? I was going to say some of the nice things I did this year were put up with my co-host.
You can put that down for both of us.
Merry Christmas!